Sabko namaste. So let us take up another Kabir's couplet today. निंदक नियरे राखिए आंगन कुटी सवाए बिन पानी साबुन बिना निर्मल करे सुहाए. So Kabir ji is saying to keep those who criticize or to keep those who keep on finding kind of faults in us close enough. Angan kuti chawai. So in your own houses, angan, balcony or whatever we have nowadays, so very close. Keep those who keep on finding faults very close. And why would Kabir ji say that? Now, why didn't he say that keep your appreciators much closer? Now, what happens is that praise may appear very sweet in the beginning, but the minds that we have, what happens is that praise does not just remain a praise becomes a burden on the head. In the sense, I begin to identify myself as the one who is very nice. So in the beginning, I may not be having any expectation at all that people should call me nice or not nice or people should praise me. In the beginning, it does not actually begin with the expectation. But what happens is that if I have someone very close to me who keeps on praising me, or, kind of really, in the sense, pushing me high up in the air again and again, what happens is, whether I want it or not, that begins to kind of, stick to me. So it becomes a burden on my head, in the sense I begin to identify myself as the one who is extremely lovable, because that person begins to kind of give me that appearance, that you are really beautiful and this is the thing that you do is really so amazing. And all these things appear so very subtle in the beginning. They don't appear as poison. And it's not that the other person is doing some manipulation also. It's not like that. But it's just that the nature of our sticky minds is such that the mind sticks to that, and that becomes an identity. It becomes a burden on my head. That becomes my image, if I can use that word. So when now that person will stop making me feel so nice, then the suffering will begin. Then the suffering will begin. So as long as that person is making me feel nice about myself and I'm not noticing it, it is added on to my weight of the mind. I'm not giving it much attention. I'm not even negating it, that it doesn't matter, praise or criticism, it does not matter. I don't take it on my head. I'm not even doing that. It is kind of a default thing that is happening owing to the sticky minds that we have, that it sticks to my mind. And when that person will not be making me feel that nice, then I will really begin to suffer, as if something is lacking. Imagine that I am born with a crown on my head. Now that crown on my head was actually a baggage, because it is not me, it is just a plastic frame or metal frame. Now when that crown will be taken off, I will feel a discomfort for some time. I will not feel myself. It is only after some time that I begin to recognize, okay, now I feel easy. I actually do not need the crown again, owing to the old habit of having the crown on my head. So praise, it comes as a very neutral thing, but it begins to stick. It begins to be my identity. I see it as the one who is nice, the one who is kind, the one who is beautiful, the one who is talented, the one who is full of love, all these labels I begin to put on myself. And when the very same person will be occupied with himself or not giving you much attention, then it will actually begin the cause, begin the suffering in my life. Because the old habit is now, the old habit, it's like a habit that has become that I'm used to have these praises. They have become a part of me. Now when these praises are taken away from me, then I feel as if something is lacking in me. While the praise did not add anything to me, and neither no praise can take anything away from me. Even critics or insult, they cannot do anything to us. Who we truly are never accentuates and never reduces. And that is why, so when it is talked of nindak niyare rakhiye, so when we get criticism, when we get people who are finding faults in us again and again, it pushes us back within our being. It asks us to reflect. It pushes us within the being. It does not throw up us in high up in the air. And then Kabir says, bin sabun pani bina nirmal kare so hai, nirmal. So mal is the mal, is the dirt. All the labels that I put on myself is a baggage. All of them are a baggage. I am not my easy true self when I am with that baggage, whether it is of a baggage of a praise. So when I am confronted with a fault finder, I go deep within and I see that, and I touch that space within myself where I see that I am fine. I may need to correct something. Yes, there is always a possibility to improvise. But I am fine. I don't need anybody's attention. I do not need anybody's praise to make me feel that I am worthy. We touch that space within us. And it's almost falling back in love with ourselves. Now, this does not mean that we should live in abusive relationships. This does not mean that we should allow people to hurt us again and again. This does not mean that I have to live with a drunkard or I have to live with a person who is hurting me again and again. This does not mean that. Whenever such kind of abuse, active abuse is there, one must take a step towards one's peace and say no to that person. I have had enough and just, let me be. So it does not mean that we have to allow abusive relationships to be. We have to allow hurt to happen. Not like that. It just means that when people find faults in us, when people criticize us, it pushes us back into ourselves, this deep space in ourselves where we know that nothing can be taken away from us, nothing can be added on to us, and yet at the very same time, I can work on myself and be better and better in the outer manifestation, in actions, in behavior. I can be better and better and better. There is a lot of scope there and almost a never-ending scope. So nirmal is the dirt, the dust that sticks on us, the dirt and dust of identities, of labels, of images. And those people who find faults like that, somebody may say, oh, you are a meditator and this is how you behave. So it's good to, one can actually get amused by those comments, because we see that yes, I have been meditating and I see that it helps me definitely, but there is a lot that I still have to do. So I cannot, so that I don't use meditation as a label on my head, that I am a spiritual person and there is no problem, no correction to be done in me. We are evolving uh, beings in time, and yes, our essence never changes or reduces, but the outer manifestation of the essence uh, can get better and better and better, the outer manifestation of beauty. So yeah, that is one way of reflecting upon it. Again, feel free to take it forward and reflect on it, contemplate on it, and sleep over it if you wish, and uh, share insights if there are any. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, keeps us grounded, keeps us grounded, having people around us who know that, who see that you are not kind of brimming with light. So there are places of darkness also, which we can shed light upon, the light of consciousness, the light of awareness, the light of love. And there is no limit to that kind of a betterment. And it kind of having these people around helps us to fall back into that deep inner space through which all the light of consciousness, light of love can fall on my actions. And I begin to embrace life in much more fullness than now, again and again, more and more. Thank you.